Aloha. I'm Felicia Miller Johnson, and I conduct work life video interviews with career professionals that become an all intuitive conversation. Aloha. I'm Felicia Miller Johnson, and I am excited to connect with my next guest, Vickie Griffith. Let's bring her to the screen. Aloha, Vickie.
Hello. Thanks for having me today. I'm so excited.
Yes, I'm excited to connect with you. So, for those that may be joining for the first time, Vickie and I have not met before, so we are literally getting to know each other live right here and now. So, Vickie, I love, like I was telling you this earlier, I love your background, that whole blue background. And
Mhm.
it's interesting because I just got to chill already. Because today and yesterday, as I kind of think about the guests I'm going to be thinking about, I kept noticing blue vehicles.
Interesting.
The whole deep cobalt blue, and to the point that the crystal that I selected today is a blue goldstone. And so then there you popped up with your whole blue. So I'm like, okay, I am already, yes, connected with Vickie. Yes, works for that. So tell me, Vickie, where are you calling from?
I live an hour northwest of Orlando in Florida.
Oh, okay. So are you from Florida?
No, I am from Michigan originally. So going from where 65 was woohoo short weather to 65 chilly, where's my mittens is really odd for me.
Right, absolutely. So that's basically going from the north all the way to the south. So tell me about that move.
Well, we moved here through Virginia. So we moved from Michigan to Virginia, lived in the Richmond area for about 17 years.
Hmm.
And that's where I built my business. That's where I started my business.
Okay.
Yeah, Richmond is awesome. It's close to the mountains in 2 hours. It's close to the ocean, so you can really have best of both worlds. Plus, it's close to DC and all of the activities up there and the museums. There's amazing national
Yeah.
museums up there. And so I could get nature and I could get educated and I could get all kinds of information from the area. And it kept getting chillier during the winters and it kept snowing for longer. And we're like, oh, wait a minute. We tried to move away from the snow and the cold.
Yes.
And truthfully, we moved here because our son went to college down here, met the woman of his dreams, and we now have granddaughters here. In the meantime, my mom moved here. So we moved closer to family, and family
Hmm.
is important to me. So I'm within 15 minutes of my family.
Oh, awesome. Well, it's interesting because the very first card that kind of came out was Archangel Metatron. So we'll see what else comes up from him. But the fact that he looks like he's in this whole ice realm, just like cold, icy, but then like you move. So the next card came out was like this whole strategy that it's, the sun and more of the not so icy, not so cold. So yeah. Okay. So you said you like moved to Virginia from your business. Tell me about your business.
Well, I moved there, and that's where my business started.
Yeah, when you started.
So
Thank you. Uh-huh.
um, I was working for, actually, I was a buyer for Big Ten University for many years.
Mhm.
Loved it. I love spending someone else's money. It's pretty awesome.
Yes.
However, I was also responsible making sure I made the sales, right? So whatever I bought, I had to make sure I sold. And it
Okay.
was a great position. But we moved to Virginia basically for my job, my husband's job. He
Hmm.
had an opportunity that we couldn't step away from. And fortunately, as things always seem to unfold as it is supposed to, there was a position open in another bookstore for a university in Virginia.
Hmm.
And so that position, I applied for it and was granted that position. So I still have the same job at a smaller school, which was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
What happened was that my father passed away, and I came home one day and told my husband I quit my job, and he was like, "What?"
Mm.
And I said,
Uh-huh.
"Well, I've got a little bit of money. I had to figure out what I want to do next." Since I was 16, I have been exploring and researching the power of the mind and was surprised that we were never taught how to wrangle in that power, how that we have such amazing abilities
Mm-hmm.
within our mind. And so I started seeing a hypnotist in Virginia to lose weight. Weight has always been a problem for me since I was a kid.
Hmm.
And one day that hypnotist, after my father passed away, said, "So what do you want to do?" And I'm like, I want to do what you do. And it's always fascinating to me how whatever your name is for it, God, universe, spirit, it always puts us in a path that we're not sure we even know why we're on, but we're on it, and why we connect with people the way we do.
Mm-hmm.
She was actually a trainer. So I was able to train with her, and I worked with her as a contractor for 3 years, developing my craft. So that's how my business got started.
Awesome. Okay, so take me back though. You said when you were 16. So what was the whole spark around the mind and around that number 16?
I am, and I'm very proud of it, a very highly sensitive person. I didn't know this until about 15 years ago, but I'm a highly sensitive person. I'm intuitive. I am. I feel the connection to
Yeah.
spirit, and I denied it for many many years. At 16, what happened, being highly sensitive, I was also very shy.
Yeah.
Some people would be very gracious and call me reserved, but I was shy and I
Okay.
was fat. Okay, so two things against me: I was the wallflower and I wanted to be. I didn't want to be seen. When I
Mm.
was 16, my parents said, "Well, would you like to?" Their chiropractor just learned hypnosis for weight loss. Would you like to do that? So, one more way, an attempt to thin Vickie down, basically. And I said, sure. So I went to him and I lost 30 pounds. I use the word lost because it found me back. And the reason
Mm.
why, it's not that the hypnosis didn't work, it's that the hypnosis was all around the diet, which at that time was keto. This is before it was called keto.
Mm-hmm.
And that wasn't sustaining me because I was at that time an emotional eater. I needed support emotionally rather than in the diet form.
Hmm.
But some other things started happening. I started raising my hand in class in high school, and my teachers are like, "You've been here all year. Who are you?"
Like check
Yeah,
the attendance roster. Uh-huh.
right. And even during, we always have classes that you have to stand up and give some kind of oral report. And I would do it and sit down, and the teacher would say to the whole class, "I can't believe you just did that. Like, neither
Mm.
can I."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So my confidence started raising. I started having more confidence in myself, even though I was still fat, right? Because I always thought all my problems were because I was fat. My confidence started raising. I had always known the answer. I just wouldn't raise my hand. I was more willing to be visible. I was more willing to try things that felt risky for me as an introvert and a highly sensitive and a wallflower and shy and reserved. And that amazed me that I would do those things when in the past I would have talked myself out of them. So
Mm.
that happened at 16, and I just kept exploring and I kept learning. And I would, in my years of college, I'd take psychology classes that had this much about hypnosis to learn more about it. And that was what built the pathway to discovering this one woman who said, "Oh yeah, I'm a trainer, and when you're done, you'll be certified as a hypnotherapist." I'm like, "Wow." And then along the way, she said, "I'm looking for someone in my clinic to work with my weight loss patients." She goes, "I've
Mm.
never had a weight problem. I don't understand it. I don't understand them." And I was at that point 40 pounds
Mm.
overweight and said, "I want to do that." And she's like, "Okay, let's talk." And that's when I became, like I said, a contractor for her for 3 years.
That's amazing. So while you were talking, the card that came out was the cornucopia. But notice with the cornucopia, it has all of this food and the selection and just the whole overabundance. But then what also came out was that I noticed was like the trees and the nature, and that I'm noticing that every picture behind you has a tree
It
in
does.
it. So I'm like, and there's no person in this particular picture. So it was like, yeah, okay, connecting with the whole food, the connecting with the nature, the connection with that there's not a person there in this picture, but yet you wanted to be seen. The next thing I saw was this whole butterfly and this transformation that was there and like going to the light with that. So what what has been recently for you that light moment? Maybe it was a conversation that you had with the client or something like, but what was it that just like really lit you up like in the last week?
There has been, so talking about taking risk,
Mhm.
I just recently took a risk, something way out of the box in marketing,
Yeah.
and I actually had to hand deliver them. Right, so it wasn't something I could send. It's not something I do in social media, which I believe in all of that stuff. This
Mhm.
actually had to hand deliver, and it was fun. It was different, and that going out and talking to people one to one, face to face, and I didn't get to talk to everyone. Some people weren't available, but it was fun.
Mhm.
So bringing back the playfulness in business that I take oh so seriously
Uh-huh.
was
Uh-huh.
a huge light moment for me. That was showing me that yes, playfulness needs to be part of my everyday experience in relationships, in my business, in just life in general.
Yes. I love that. So what was it that sparky moment that had you the idea to do something in person and deliver that?
Well, it's very interesting because I get an idea, and
Mhm.
a lot of people don't, myself included, I didn't know where those ideas came from, right? So I would have a thought in my voice.
Mhm.
So that voice that comes in your head, but it sounds like you, right? I have a thought. And I've
Mhm.
come to realize that those thoughts are really from my higher self.
Indeed.
And I had this thought about doing what I call a candy board. So it has questions on it, and then it has a candy with that name in it. For instance, are sales slipping through your hands like Butterfingers? And it has a Butterfinger attached to it. Right. So
Mm.
that's why I had to deliver them because I didn't want them to melt in Florida heat.
Yeah.
Right. So I have to be practical about this. But so that's just one of the things that's on the board. So
Mhm.
that experience, that thought was validated a week later, which I always, the humor of the universe spirit just gives me
Yes.
chill. I mean, it just gives me chills, right? So, and I knew at that moment this is what it was. It was validation for that thought. We were going out to dinner with our granddaughters, and our youngest is 11.
Mhm.
And she goes, "Look what I made for my girlfriend for her birthday." And she showed me a picture of it, and it was a poster board with telling her girlfriend how much she adored her with candy bars. And I'm like,
Yes.
okay, thank you. I get it.
Thank you for the confirmation and the
I
sign.
know. And it was so fun. It just made me snicker. And of course, she didn't know. But, I was snickering to myself. I wasn't snickering at her because I thought it was just
Yeah.
a genius idea for her. So and so much fun. So that's how it comes to me. Is it's an idea. It's a thought, and it sounds like it's my voice. A
Mhm.
lot of times we are expecting the moment, and those don't
Yes.
come for me. It's a second of just a thought or idea or a glimpse of something, and that's where the inspiration is. That's when I know it's divinely guided. And then I'll see. I always ask for a sign. I'll see a sign, and for that one particular, it was that candy board that my granddaughter made.
Mhm. Well, I was like, okay, well, what is it? I was shuffling. I was like, what is it that because I call it Emmanuel, as we talk about God, Spirit, Emmanuel is what I call my spirit team. And I was like, well, what is it that Vickie should know, like right now, to encourage her? And what came out was the world, right? In this whole symbolic, and it literally says a brilliant success, a time of joyful accomplishment and spiritual enlightenment. So the fact that you were talking about like I said, to ask you like what was that bright spot right now that happened like in the recent, week, and then you're kind of tying that with the whole the knowing, basically clairvoyant, the knowing of, okay, thanks for the sign. Like I'm tapping into that. So the spiritual enlightenment, it says freedom to do whatever you want. Be proud of yourself. And so absolutely, like the fact that you did something new, to be proud of yourself and accomplishing that and stepping forth and showing up with your face. Because now, like you said, now it was like now we have a person, like this face of like, yes, I'm showing up at your doorstep. Here are the things that I have for you, and this whole accomplishment with that. So the next thing that popped up as I'm looking at this is that, how do you define success for Vickie?
That's a really fascinating question, and I ask my clients that as well,
Okay.
because a lot of times we are trained to believe success is a number.
Mhm.
You know, in sales, it's a sales number. In weight loss, it's a weight number. What do you? So there's a lot of success around numbers. I think success is a feeling.
Mm,
Success is the happiness of knowing, or the joyfulness, or the of knowing that you've done something out of the ordinary. Some people would call it accomplishment, but I'm not even sure that's a feeling.
mm,
That's something you've done, but it's a feeling that you get from that. So it could be pride in yourself. It could be just that joyful playfulness that you've arrived from it. Happiness, that's success for me. And all
mhm.
the other stuff will come around. If I'm
Mm.
feeling those things, joyful, playful, happy, everything else will materialize.
Well, like I said, that kind of correlates because now, see, the fact that it was a question that you ask of your clients, to be able to reflect it back on what does that mean for you, and being able to share that with everyone, it's interesting in that area. So with that, so you have success and joyfulness. The next question that's coming out is, what's challenging you right now?
That is also a really fascinating question, and thanks for asking that.
Hmm.
And when I look at challenges, I look at where am I getting in my way.
Yeah. Hmm.
That's typically where I'm working towards with my clients is what are you thinking, believing, especially that's getting in your way of
Hmm.
getting to the achievements that you're looking for. So that's what, and that's not a challenge for me. Again, that's looking at it as a playfulness. I chose to be here. I chose to play. So it's not a challenge. It's an opportunity one more time. And sometimes they come barrage daily. One more time
Yes.
to look at me and say, okay, what about me needs to be changed perhaps, or nurtured?
Yeah.
What about me that's getting in my own way without judgment and without criticism,
Hmm.
but with that, there's a realistic placement, that this belief has gotten in my way, and okay, what do I get to do about it? I can keep it. I have permission to do that. It's interesting,
Hmm.
freedom came up. I have the freedom to keep it. It might keep me
Yes.
miserable, but I can keep it if I want it, or I can choose to change it in some kind of way that's safe for me to do that.
Yes. So here's the feedback that just came through for you. Connected to the first chakra. Are you familiar with chakras?
Mhm.
Yeah. So the root chakra, and it literally says instinct. I trust that my instincts are correct, and I let my natural intuitive feeling guide me forward. I will know what I need to do and how to respond with wisdom to situations that come my way. I have an innate desire to be of service in life. As I tap into this feeling, I will know what service I am called to do. I believe in myself.
I love it.
And it was like, yeah, that's pretty much what she just just said, but just reminding us the confirmation of, yeah, I'm connecting with the individuals, I'm serving them in this area of weight loss and tapping into, what that all looks like. So, um, you're right on line with what you're supposed to be doing. So for those that are like, yes, okay, I watched this. I'm like, I definitely want to connect with Vickie and learn more about what she's doing and how she may be to serve me. How can people reach you?
Well, if I could, in the comments, I'll put my calendar link in.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it looks like I need to put it in the private chat first.
Yes. And then show, we have Abigail, as you're doing that. Aloha, Abigail. Thank you for joining us and connecting
Yeah.
with us.
I
And
put it in the
then
private chat. I don't know if that, because I can't seem to share it in the comments.
okay, so what we can do is, since this originally is in LinkedIn,
Okay.
on the video screen, we can go in and copy that link to that so that individuals can
Awesome.
connect with you. And what I love is that you have efficiency because you have a calendar link so that people can book their time efficiently. It doesn't look like you have to go back and forth with the whole emails and all of that. So, loving that. So let me go back to these comments. Hi. So, Vickie, thank you so much for doing what you do and connecting and sending your words. I hope your experience today encouraged you to live smart and continue to ascend in your work life and personal life. Thank you for those that have joined with us live and were watching this replay. It's no accident that you are watching this. You were meant to watch this when you were supposed to. And I thank you for that. So until we come back again next week, this has been an all intuitive conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you.